Hey, what is up guys? It's your boy Speed here, and today we're going to be going over 5 underrated heroes that, if they get buffed in the upcoming patch, or just if they're good right now, will be broken in your pubs. Honestly, a couple of these I will specify that I think they will get buffed either after the upcoming Arlington Major or TI, hopefully after the Major. I would imagine after the Major they will get buffed, and when that happens, I honestly think that these heroes will be potentially pretty OP, and I honestly think that right now these heroes are very strong and you should be using them in your pubs. So let's get into it. 5 underrated heroes that I suggest you play in your pubs, and let's get into it. And now I want to tell you guys a little bit about DotaPlus from Overwolf. This is a free stats app you guys can download right now that's going to show you your stats for the last 3 months. So if you want to know your games played, your MMR, your win rate, your XPM, your GPM, all of these things you need to track to know how well you're doing and what you need to change to gain MMR, you can get for absolutely free. On top of that, the biggest reason why you need to download DotaPlus, at least for me, is the ban suggestions. Basically, it tells you what the enemy team is good at. It tells you their best heroes, what they've been winning with. You just ban it. You might be wondering why your good heroes, why your best heroes keep getting banned. It's because of DotaPlus. The enemy team is using it and banning out your best heroes. So go download DotaPlus right now, and I'll see you guys there. The first one is Sniper Carry, and I'm going to be making a full-length YouTube video on this hero very soon. So check that out when it comes out. But either way, I think Sniper Carry is very strong for a couple of reasons. I think, honestly, if it gets buffed in the upcoming patch, it will be a top meta carry, and I really mean that. The only downside this hero has is sometimes, and I mean sometimes, it struggles against units. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, Speed, it just gets mauled by units, but here's the thing about Sniper Carry, okay? Even against this unit meta, and, you know, certain jump heroes being popular like Void Spirit, I still think the hero can do fine, and I still think it will do fine. And if it gets buffed in terms of numbers or just some ability getting buffed, I think the hero will be broken. Why? Because it beats Beastmaster in lane, it beats Visage in lane, it beats Lycan in lane, generally, and it has a good matchup against a lot of other heroes. The only thing it needs to keep in mind is it generally needs to lane with a melee position 5, a hero that can sit in front and enable it to just click, throw down shrapnels. I think Clockwork is the best, honestly, because it just bodies for Sniper really well in the early waves, and it can keep people in shrapnel for unbelievably long, and shrapnel is a busted ability, especially at level 2. So yeah, there's that. And then on top of that, Hurricane Pike Shard combo on Sniper, I think is honestly just insanely good. The amount of mobility you have on Sniper is better than anything Sniper has ever had. The difficulty of killing a Sniper is honestly insane. It's really, really hard to kill Sniper, and I'm not just saying that. The reason why it's so hard to kill Sniper is with Hurricane Pike and a Magic Wand, which is what you should have every game, you're gonna have about 1800 HP. Then on top of that, you have 2 mobility sources in your Shard and your Hurricane Pike, which is frankly just insane, right? It is unbelievably hard to get on top of a hero that has an 100% chance to headshot when he activates his take aim. Also at level 20, he has increased pushback on headshot, and so a lot of the carry heroes like Bristleback that would typically run at him and get on top of him just get pushed away. They can't stay on top of Sniper, especially when he's disarming them and slowing their movement speed as well with the concussive grenade that is his Shard. You can't kill Sniper. And so basically, I think this hero is a good laner. I think it works well with the position 4s that are strong right now. Honestly, I think it's somewhat of a counter to the Zoo meta, and that might seem insane because it's like, what? How is Sniper a counter to Zoo meta? He's like Sniper. But the thing is, he can shrapnel to defend towers, he beats these heroes in lane, he can poke the units from far away, assuming he doesn't get jumped, he can poke the units, which is quite valuable, and so he does all those things against the unit heroes. He's quite a decent answer to them. Alright, getting into the second one, we have Arc Warden with Midas and the Gleipnir. I think this can be played as a mid laner or a safe laner, and it is a bit greedy. Once again, I recommend you pick it with a frontlining support if you can, or at least a lane dominating support like DAZZLE, so that you can actually get out of the lane scot-free. But either way, why is Arc Warden good? I actually don't think the hero is that broken right now. I just want to say if any hero gets buffed as a core, I think Arc Warden definitely could be one of them. The hero's win rate on Dota buff is also stupid high right now, which I think mostly comes down to the fact that only Arc Warden spammers are playing this hero right now, which kind of inflates the win rate. And on top of that, the hero naturally scales well, which basically means in pubs, when you have these Arc Warden spammers picking it in free Arc Warden games, and the game goes late, he's often going to carry the game, right? And so because of that, the hero's win rate's high. But I think the hero honestly is good in general. The Gleipnir build on Arc Warden is devastating to play into. The amount of damage that this build actually does is insane, because the only downside I'd say of Gleipnir as an item is the fact that it doesn't really give you much attack speed, but it makes you hit very hard because you're quite tanky and you have Maelstrom proc. So the Midas is such a natural item on Arc Warden for obvious reasons. He gets 2 of them. And so you pop this Midas, right? Bonus attack speed from Midas. You're snowballing really hard. You're buying a Maelstrom, so you farm stupid quick because you have attack speed, double Midas, plus Maelstrom. Really nice combo. And then you get to Gleipnir, so you're incredibly tanky, and you actually have a way to deal with the mobility heroes that typically counter Arc Warden. The Storm Spirits, Embers, Void Spirits that typically will get on top of you and mess with you are not nearly as much of a problem, because you have 2 roots, right? The Gleipnir, being an active AoE damage spell, also does a ton of damage. If the enemy team groups up and you can root them for like 4 seconds and do 500 damage to all of them, you're probably gonna win the fight. On top of that, one thing that was told to me about Arc Warden that I thought was pretty cool is the fact that his shard actually stacks. That's weird, right? And you might not know what I'm talking about, but Magnetic Field gives magic resistance if you buy the shard. Let me repeat that. Magnetic Field slows and pushes enemies out of the area. So if an enemy is on top of you, you can Gleipnir them and then push them away with your shard, right? If they're in the bubble and you cast it on the ground on them, they get pushed out. They also get slowed. And then if you are inside of this bubble, you have 40% magic resist. And I was told it stacks with 2 bubbles. And obviously you can have 2 bubbles because you're Arc Warden. So you can have it doesn't stack additively. So you're not gonna have 80% magic resist and then 105% or 115% magic resist. No, 105% magic resist with your base magic resist. You're not going to be invincible to magic damage, I assure you. But you'll basically take no damage from magic damage, and you have evasion from right clickers, at least ranged right clickers, because you're in your bubble. So this hero has some really interesting matchups, really interesting interactions that are pretty busted, and I think if players get good at Arc Warden, he's one of the best pub heroes in Dota 2. Next up, we have DAZZLE 5. I made a video on DAZZLE, so you can check that out, but basically I think this hero is just really, really good right now. I think he's one of my favorite pub heroes in the game, because he can buy Mech, he can buy Glimmer, he can buy Holy Locket, he can buy all these cheap items, Drums, Wraith Pact if needed. If you get good at like farming occasionally, this hero farms really fast because of Shadow Wave. It shoves waves incredibly well. It can even jungle with Poison Touch if like the game is really slow pace and your team is AFK, which I know they are going to be sometimes, right? Sometimes your team just really doesn't want to do anything, in which case the ability to jungle and shove waves as a support is valuable as long as you're not taking it away from your cores, of course. That would probably be a bad idea. On top of that, the Hex on his shard is longer than ever. At 2 seconds, you actually have a decent disable on DAZZLE. But really the biggest thing that I think is broken about this hero is the fact that Grave is an 80% heal if it is maxed out and your teammate is 1 HP, which it's Grave, so let's assume they're getting towards that. You get an 80% bonus to your heal. You can heal people for like 800 healing, right? That's 800 pure damage if you want to look at it that way. Sometimes more, assuming they're popping their own magic wand, and you might have a mech on your team and other healing sources. There's plenty of healing sources in Dota, right? DAZZLE 5 with his new Grave is insane. And so I honestly think that the more this hero is picked, I think the better it will become. I think people are going to get really proficient with this hero's laning and Poison Touch being a pretty insane spell as well. Honestly, I think even taking the value point in Grave is better than ever now, as once again, if you Grave your teammate and he has a stick and a Fairy Fire, he can pop them last second. Even though it's only a 20% heal amp at level 1, it's still significant enough to turn that fight around, and you have 5 seconds of attacking when you're only 1 HP, or maybe like, let's say 3, considering you're not going to Grave your teammate when they're literally 1 HP, but you get the point. And the next one, in terms of heal supports, this one is a bit of a hot take. I think honestly with the Zoo meta being pretty popular, I was a little bit surprised to see Omni Knight not come into favor. Now the problem with Omni Knight against the Zoo meta is he can't really deal with wave dragging very well, which is popular, at least in high MMR. He can't defend towers very well, and you know, Guardian Angel is a pretty long cooldown. So I will say I understand, especially why in the pro scene this hero is not popular. But I think honestly in pubs, especially with unit heroes not being that strong in pubs, even though I think these heroes are pretty OP, considering these heroes are even less popular in your average pub, I think honestly Omni 5 is just straight up good. I do. I think the hero is a good laner. I think its W still makes people just stupid tanky. I think Guardian Angel, when not dealt with properly by dispels, is broken, and in your average pub, people just aren't really buying Dispels. They're not going to use Witchbane to Dispel. They're not going to remember to buy Nullifier against Omni Knight. And you're just going to get off a free Repel, or whatever it's called, Heavenly Grace. Repel. You're going to get off a free Heavenly Grace and a free ulti in teamfights, and you're going to own. And yeah, you're also just really good with Arc Warden carry, Sniper carry. You see where I'm going here? This could be the future of Dota. And finally, last but not least, is Jug with Mjolnir. I honestly think this build is just stupid good. I think Mjolnir as an item is an item that will get nerfed very soon. Actually, not very soon, because I don't think it's abused yet. But I'm personally a massive fan of Mjolnir as an item. I think this item is wildly underrated. I think it's wildly undervalued. I don't think it's expensive at all for what it does. It lets you shove waves. It gives you a defensive ability that allows you to turn fights. It makes you farm stupidly fast. You do so much damage. The only problem is it's not that good against BKBs, but even then, it still gives you attack speed. So I think on the heroes that can buy Mjolnir, this item is unbelievably abusable and really effective for snowballing your game. You farm so fast, as I said, you clear waves with the active, and if you don't know what the active does, you can do like 1500 damage to every single hero in the AoE if it procs as much as it can. And honestly, that is what happens. And so the reason why I picked Jug is I think Jug is quite good right now. I think he's good in the meta. I think this hero will not get nerfed in the upcoming patch. I think it will stay as a staple carry of the next patch. And then on top of that, it's just one of the best Mjolnir users in the game. And the reason why is Jug really desperately needs attack speed because Omni Slash is based off attack speed. So you really need attack speed. You proc on the Mjolnir like crazy when you're Omni Slashing. And when you're spinning, you can still use active abilities. And so basically when you're spinning, you can still use the fast attack speed of the Mjolnir. You can chop, 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 chop. And you can keep proccing as well, making your spin do a stupid amount of damage. And yeah, that's going to be all for today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed these 5 underrated heroes. If you have underrated heroes you'd like to share with the community, share with the Game Leap folks. I would appreciate it a lot if you leave those in the comment section down below. I'm curious to see what you guys have to write. And without further ado, smash a like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace. And that's all. But remember, before you leave, come on, before you tune out, subscribe to the Game Leap website where we are going to help you get to the next rank. If you're stuck, click the link down below. And I'm out. Peace.